Welcome to Smashterpieces, a casual walk through the history of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. My name is Joe.
My name is Matt.
And if you are new here, what we do on this show is we are playing one game for every character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And today's game is representing fighter number 14, Bowser. It is the 1990 Super Nintendo game, Super Mario World. And we're not alone for this one. Please welcome our guest, Ben.
Yowza.
Yep, there it is again. That iconic intro.
That iconic catchphrase.
Ben, you made it.
I did.
And you streamed the game the whole way through, right?
Nope.
The entire thing. Start to finish, right?
Yeah. I did. YouTube.com/critical.
Yeah.
That's me.
So, if you didn't have a chance to listen last week, Ben is a co-host. He used to co-host Read the Manual on a couple other shows with me. He was also on Prism Power Hour, and we decided to pull him in for Super Mario World because, Ben, you really like this game.
It's like my favorite game.
And it's a good game. I would say the first real, outstanding classic we have played.
We played Mega Man 2 like 2 weeks
That's
ago.
actually... Oh, fuck, you're right. Okay, the first... It is a very good first intro to the SNES era. How about that? There we go.
That's acceptable.
We'll say that.
It's the best SNES game.
I have a couple of qualms with this game, but for now, let's just talk about good stuff. And there's a shit ton of good stuff to talk about when it comes to Super Mario World.
I would say I have like no qualms pretty much. I mean, there's like one or two things here and there that I don't like. What game doesn't have that though? And on the whole, I don't really have like there's nothing in this game that I'd point at and be like, yeah, that's bad. Don't do that. Like, it's great. This game's great.
We're gonna have a very different dynamic between the three of us. You two have played a good amount of Super Mario World. Ben especially has played a shit ton of Super Mario World, both randomized and regular.
I've jumped on a few turtles.
Matt, you have played Super Mario World a fair bit as well.
Yep.
I had never beaten it.
Never in your life.
Never in my life. And this will be something I talk about when I get to my complaints section, because I only have two, and they're not huge. Like, there's nothing, like you were saying, there's nothing hugely game-breaking, hugely this is bad thing in Mario World. There's just some stuff where it's like, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best option. And one of those for me is the Forest of Illusion, because that was where I would get as a kid when I played the Game Boy Advance version pretty much consistently, and then I'd never be able to get past it, ever. But, like, I still think it's a very good game. I think it's the best 2D Mario game, like I said last week. And, yeah.
The Forest of Illusion may not be the best design choice in the world, not because I think that it's especially hard to find your way out of it, but more because you don't... It's the first time in the game that you really need to do intense exploration to get your way out, and it's like 2/3 through the game. It's pretty late.
So, like, here's my problem with the Forest of Illusion. I guess I'll get into it right now. So when I mentioned this on my stream, where I was like, I don't think the Forest of Illusion was a good idea overall, because I don't like the idea of, oh, you know, those things that have been little extra secret bonuses up until now, well, now it's required. Do it. And when I brought this up on my stream, people were like, well, I mean, it encourages you to explore the level. And okay, yes, that is true. It does. But you didn't really need encouragement to find those secrets, because you already have encouragement. Finding those secrets gives you more levels. It gives you extra bonuses. It gives you more power-ups. It gives you more lives. There's already plenty of reasons to go find those secret levels without having them tied directly to forward progression. And that's where my problem comes in on that.
I think I can agree that it's not very... I don't want to say balanced is the right word, because that implies something different as far as difficulty and everything. But I do think that they don't set up the exploration thing very much at all. And that's really the only time in the entire game that it's required. So it's a little weird. And you could say that it's a little, like, it's implied by the name Forest of Illusion, but it's still a matter of, it requires a skill that up to now has not been needed, and you may not even really know is a part of the game. So I would say that it's not really an egregious thing, especially back in the era of talking about games on the playground and all that. But I can understand where you're coming from.
I think the main indicator that Nintendo probably thought the same thing is that Mario games like of this style have never really done that again. There are still plenty of games where it's like, yeah, you can find special secret exits and stuff, but none of them tie it to forward progression ever again, as far as I can think. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think any of them have since then.
Off the top of my head, honestly, I can't really think of many Mario games that have, like, the whole world map with secret exits thing.
Yeah, that would also be a thing that Mario World just... Which, the world map of this game is pretty cool. I do like this world map. I do wish that Mario moved a little bit faster on it.
Yeah. Well, that's, I guess that's what, like, the Star World is supposed to be, like, the mitigation to that, and, like, the reward for doing Star World and everything is fast travel, quote-unquote. This is actually something that when I played the Game Boy Advance remake, Super Mario Advance 2, when I was a kid, it had a fast travel menu where you could fast travel to any any level that you completed.
That's cheating.
It's a menu screen.
No, that does sound nice.
Well, it's just like, because sometimes I'd have to go back to an earlier level to do something. I had a friend of Ben and I's, Kyle, on my stream for the second half of the game, and I'd have to go back to the other side of the map to get something, and it took so long. I remember watching your stream, Matt, and at one point you were like, it took me a minute and a half to walk back to this level. Mm-hmm. Like a full minute and a half.
Yeah, I counted.
He should move faster on that world map. But
yeah.
But other than that, like, the game's just good.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
No, I really like platform games. Mario especially. And this one just, it feels so good to move around in. I think that this is a game that really knew how to work its physics engine and its level design together. Because there are a lot of times where, like, obviously if you know the level ahead, then you can do some crazy stuff on your way through it. I have not played this game in quite a few years, so I still had the muscle memory of the actual physics down pretty well, probably because a lot of Mario games are based off of this, and also because Mario Maker is a thing. But there were a lot of times where I would be in a level, and I would just... like, I would make a mistake that would probably end with me heading to my death. So I was able to course correct, and the game gives you enough freedom that if you're proficient enough, you can save yourself after doing something stupid. Mm. And I found that happening way more than I expected to be possible. So I think that speaks really well to just how good the physics and level design work together in this game. And there wasn't a single level where I felt like moving around through it was like there was something incongruous there. I felt like everything was designed carefully and play-tested carefully to make sure that there was never something... like, it was never asking you to do something that the game's physics weren't built to do. And I think that is a really incredible thing on the part of developers, and it's just a really solid platformer overall, and as far as 2D platformers go, it is definitely one of the best, and it's the one that every 2D platformer looks back on and strives to be.
I would agree with that. And also, like, there's a reason this game is, like, the most speed-run. I would say probably one of the most speed-runned 2D Mario game that there is. Mm-hmm. 'Cause, like, the movement is just perfectly programmed, pretty much. They put this through the ringer. They tested the hell out of this game.
Yeah, it's I believe it was a launch title for the Super Nintendo, right?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable just how well this game controlled. Like, especially compared to, you go back to the NES and its fucking launch titles, and how all of them controlled like ass.
Well, original Mario Brothers is good.
Was that I don't think there was a launch title, though.
Oh, that might not have been a launch title.
Because, like, there was still Ice Climber, and I'm talking more like Ice Climber. Like, imagine Ice Climber. That was one of the first games to come out for the NES, and that game controls like ass on stilts.
Yeah.
But then you go to this, which is one of the first games for the Super Nintendo, and it controls beautifully. Like, what the hell? They really stepped up their game for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it launched with 17 titles, looks like. I think Super Mario... Yeah, this Super Mario Bros. Most of these other games are not great, except for, like, Wrecking Crew and Clu Clu Land. Those are pretty good.
Well,
that's about it.
Going straight from Mario Land to this was sure a trip.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I didn't really think about the consequences of having these back-to-back, and Mario Land's not a bad game. I still think it is a really great game and an achievement for its time, but it doesn't have the same feeling of such a perfectly polished experience with perfectly blended level design and physics that Mario World does. Mario Land is a great game. Mario World is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say they're both really good introductions to the systems that they were built for. Because, like, obviously Super Mario World is meant to be like, look what the SNES can do, baby!
Oh, yeah.
Like, with the moving backgrounds sometimes, and which honestly don't look that great. Like, there's only a couple of times where it's a moving Mode 7 background, but those couple of times, they ain't great.
Most of them are fine, but the one that's real bad that Joe noticed, and I'm assuming Dark probably noticed, is that it's one of the forest levels, and the background is just in a fucking hurry.
Oh my god, I had motion sickness in that one.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. It could have been so much slower, and it would have looked perfectly fine. It's just a mess.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's exactly the one I'm thinking of when I say that some of those ain't great.
No one likes that. I don't know what they're.
They were thinking, hey, we have this parallax scrolling now. We should use it.
Yeah,
got to show it off.
They oof.
Yeah, it's not great. That particular thing.
It's in fact bad. Moving
backgrounds in a platformer generally aren't a good idea, especially if they move that fast and are that weirdly psychedelic.
I think I remember. I think on your stream, your friend Kyle was with you. I think he commented on that, and he said something blatantly wrong. He said, "Oh, I think that's it's Mode 7." And it's like, no.
Nah, Mode 7's something different.
If fancy graphics happen on a SNES game, people just call it Mode 7. I do that. I'm wrong all the time.
Okay, because Mode 7 is like a really specific thing.
Yeah.
Mode 7 is like the thing that
I think it can warp and reshape things.
Yeah, it warps the sprites and reshapes them. That's what Mode 7 is.
And I don't think we have a Mode 7 game, do we? Super Metroid is a little bit, I think.
Well, the only one I can think of off the top of my head that would have a bunch of it Bowser.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure Mode 7 is involved in some of the Bowser fight.
Oh yeah. Well, there's anytime any of the Koopalings too are killed
when they get hit.
Oh yeah, that's also Mode 7. Yeah, so this game does have some Mode 7 stuff in it.
Actually, okay, I just looked it up. Mode 7 is a really specific thing. It deals with the background layer, not with anything else.
Oh.
And it's basically like the background layer is a flat sprite, but it is shown at an angle and rotated in such a way that it creates the illusion of a 3D environment.
Oh, because there's a game, I don't remember what game it is. I think it's a SNES game where it's supposed to be like a cylinder, and I think you're standing on top of it or like in it, and it's like rotating underneath you.
Yeah. That sounds like Mode 7.
I don't remember what it was though.
Racing games were also really big for Mode 7, like Super Mario Kart, F-Zero.
F-Zero really uses it. That's where I know Mode 7 from in general. It's just people talking about F-Zero.
Yeah, they are primarily made from Mode 7.
Speaking of, by the way, because we brought up the Koopa Kids, so obviously our victory condition was you had to fight all 7 Koopa Kids and then fight Bowser. Because this game can be beaten without, I think, do you have to fight any of them? Or just one?
You need to find one of them.
So you can beat the game while only fighting one Koopa Kid. And so we wanted to make sure that didn't happen. The point of this is to experience as much of the game as we can. And
on my stream, I did the conditions as soon as I could to get to the front door of Bowser's Castle, by the way, just to show it off.
Yeah. I went in a rather linear fashion. And so, because that's just how I play platformers with world maps like that.
I do too. This is just like my 100th time playing Mario World, so.
Yeah.
Got a flicks.
I was pleasantly surprised because I had forgotten. So when I played on my stream, that was the first time in like 6-7 years I've touched Super Mario World. If not a decade. It's been a long time. Like I played it on Game Boy Advance on a Game Boy Advance. So
that's how I played it.
Yeah, but that was the last time I ever touched Super Mario World. So I had forgotten all about this. All of the Koopa Kids, minus I think 2 of them repeat, maybe 3, are unique boss fights.
No. No.
There's like 4.
One of them is unique.
No.
One of them is unique.
No.
Every single other one is a direct mirror of another.
There's like 4 types of fights. There's the pipe fight. There's the
well, that's more what I meant. You knew what I meant. I didn't know there were so many different kinds of fights with the Koopa Kids.
Yeah, well,
I kind of thought they were all hitting them into the lava because that's the one I remembered.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, no, you're right there, but it's not right to say that they're all unique fights because only like every single one except for Ludwig is the exact same fight as another one.
And Ludwig is just boring as shit.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Like he's the most boring one. Because he's literally just dodges fireballs, jump on him. All right, dodges fireballs, jump on him. So it's fucking. There's not even.
You don't like dodging fireballs and jumping.
There's not even a real gimmick to that one. Like the pipe one is kind of fun, and I really like it. It feels like a dick move, but I really like knocking them into the lava on the tilting platform, even though it feels really cool.
Yeah, I can never get one cycle on that unless I practice a bunch.
I think I accidentally got one cycle on the second one.
Yeah.
Oh well, Harn, you're such a celebrity here.
I sure am.
Got the speed run strats.
There's what are the other? There's the ones that are I believe supposed to be. Are they based around Boom Boom from 3? Where he crawls on the ceiling and then falls?
I think so. That's Morton and I want to say Roy.
Yeah, Roy does it.
I want to say those are based around the little mini bosses in Mario 3. If I had to take a
believe
guess.
You're right.
I don't remember. I should play all of Mario 3 at some point.
It's been a very long time since I've played Mario 3 and I've never finished it. So.
And like that was a pleasant surprise to me. I didn't know that was the case. I didn't remember that. So that was cool. I liked that. I don't know what else to say on that. I just really liked that. But there's one enemy that I did not enjoy, and I know, Matt, you had the same problems with it.
Magic Koopa,
Magic Koopas.
Oh, man, they can fuck off.
The Magic Koopas suck. Not because they're hard, but because they bring in our favorite game mechanic ever, which is sit there and wait for the enemy to do what you want because forward progression is locked behind the enemy doing what you want them to do.
Oh boy, that's favorite.
That's fair. They only show up in like 2 main levels.
They only show up in 2 castles in general, but both of those castles, the experience in general is sort of fucked up by the Magic Koopas being there.
So the first, I might get these mixed up, but the first one where you're like up really high and you have to wait for him to like make a hole. That one I'm usually Big Mario, So I just spin jump through the blocks and kill him immediately because you don't really need him that much at that one. That one he's trying to hurt you. The second one, yeah, unless you have a cape, you just gotta wait for him.
Which is ultimately what I did. I went in with a cape, and that was how I did it.
You can just skip everything.
I'm not about that life.
Mm-mm.
Like it's just not a good mechanic. Anytime you play a game and the game hits a point where it's like, this enemy is the one that allows you to do forward progression, but there's only a slight chance they'll do the thing that will actually let you go.
And you kept killing him.
Yeah, well, I kept accidentally killing him in one of them. I don't remember which one.
It was the second one.
It was the second one, yeah. I kept accidentally jumping on him.
I was so happy.
Like, that's probably the one thing in the game where I'd be like, yeah, that was bad, and you guys did make a good decision there. But, like, again, it only shows up, like, twice in the whole game, in the entire game.
Could be a lot worse.
It could be way worse.
And there are at least ways to deal with them. There could just be, like, he's got to turn a wall of munchers into nothing.
Yeah.
It could be something that you just can't.
It could be Kaizo Mario. That sounds like something that'd be in Kaizo.
I could see that. I do love me some. I like the first Kaizo because I can do a little bit of it.
The Kaizo Mario stuff is overall really cool. I'm a fan of it, but I think some of the copycats aren't as good as the original.
Oh, no. Most Kaizos are bad.
Yeah, no, the original Kaizo was really special because it wasn't just a bunch of bullshit thrown around. There was actually a lot of really careful thought into it. Not just in clever level design, but also in comedic timing.
Oh, yeah. The very start of it is...
And for those who don't know, Kaizo Mario is a famous ROM hack of Super Mario World, which is made to be just stupid fucking hard. And the original title, it's a Japanese ROM hack, and the original title of the video that was posted was... quote, forcing my friend to play my Super Mario World hack. And it is a really incredible special ROM hack. Like I said, stupid hard, and it just throws unpredictable bullshit at you with great comedic timing. It's really funny to see someone play through, and because there is legitimate humor and jokes in the bullshit that it's throwing at you. So it is just entertaining along with how stupid hard it is. And
yeah.
It is... I want to say that's like the first really well-known Mario ROM hack, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's the one everyone knows.
Yeah, so it's... I would say that it's more or less responsible for kicking off the entire ROM hack scene. But it's a great piece of Mario World history, I think, and it's just so entertaining to watch. And it is the best one, and the copycats don't understand why it was so good, because they just see, oh, it's hard, I'll just make something that's hard. And they end up making something that is not carefully designed, and it's just... Kaizo Mario is like if Nintendo made something of that difficulty level. It's made with the same level of care as the original Super Mario World is. And that's really cool.
It's a genre now. On if you go to like the websites that show all the Mario hacks, you can list about like in like 2013 or 2014 when you submitted a ROM hack, they added the difficulty as a thing you could enter. And most of them are just like easy, normal, hard, and then you have Kaizo light, Kaizo normal, and Kaizo hard, I think. And there might be like some stupid higher than that, like Kaizo insane or something. But yeah, it's a whole genre now. There are thousands of them, and very few are good.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Granted, I mostly say that because I can't beat them. I still play. I'll still download and play like if it says Kaizo Light and it still sounds neat, like based on the blurb. I'll try it, but I usually don't get far.
Well, that's all I got to say on the actual game itself. Do either of you have any other topics you wanted to bring up?
Well, on the topic of Smash Brothers, the whole reason we're doing this show, we chose this game for Bowser, but playing it, I kind of internalized that this game is really more directly responsible for Bowser Jr.'s moveset. Obviously the clown car comes straight from this, and a lot of stuff that you do as Bowser Jr. with the clown car is in the Bowser final boss fight. I would say his neutral B is when he drops the cannonball. His down B, of course, is the Mecha Koopas. All of his alternate colors are straight from this game. Well, they're technically from Mario 3, but roll with it. We chose it for Bowser because, like, what else could we do? And we purposely chose Mario Sunshine for Bowser Jr. because that was the first game he appeared in. But this is you don't really see Bowser specifically do as much in this game as you can in other games, at least as far as what made it into Smash Brothers.
I mean, that being said, this is still, I would consider, the most iconic Bowser boss fight. 64 might be up there as well, but I don't think there's anything else that comes close to those two.
64 is more up there, I'd say, but yeah.
Well, 64's Bowser boss fights in general are up there, but this is the most iconic final boss, I think. I don't think there's anything that comes close to this final boss-wise. It's at the very least the most iconic 2D Mario final boss with Bowser.
It's not the best Bowser fight, but it's definitely the most iconic one, yeah.
It's really easy. Like it happens in reverse, I feel like, difficulty-wise, because the first, and I don't know why, but like the phases get none of them are hard, but they get easier as you go, which is really weird because the first phase is obviously he just goes in a fucking arching pattern and throws the Mecha Koopas at you, and you just got to throw the Mecha Koopas back up at him. And then the second phase is he drops the cannonballs on you, which are piss easy to dodge. You can jump over them with the ease. You barely have to try to do so. And again, you just hit him with two Mecha Koopas. And then his third one is he does the usual, like, 2D game bounce, where you've got to go under him as he's bouncing up and down. And that's super easy to dodge. And there's even, like, a magic corner that you can just sit in and he won't hit you. Like,
it's a weird fight. And it's like I say, it's the most iconic, but it's not the best. I'm not a huge fan of the fight.
To be fair, none of the bosses in this game are that hard. The Resners are kind of hard, but you don't have to fight any of them to actually, like, get to Bowser. You're not required to fight any of them. And all the Koopa Kids, they're interesting and fun, but they're not hard. None of them are hard. So this is not a game that was based around difficult boss fights, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just, that's just how the game ended up, I guess.
I'd say the level they wanted the level design to be the focus of the difficulty and the real part that shines. Because
there are some of these levels that, like, they don't really fuck around. But also they're all extremely, like, fair. They're really well designed. Like, this game's design, I don't think we can say it enough. This game has impeccable level design.
Initially, they were considering putting difficulty settings, like you pick a difficulty mode, and to avoid doing that, that's what they came up with the Switch Palaces. So if you're having a hard time, you go try and find whatever hidden level is going to take you to a Switch Palace, go complete that. That's going to help you fall on a handful of pits and whatnot. And
I forgot about that, and I didn't even think of it that way. That's a very good approach.
That's their workaround.
That's an extremely good approach to 2D difficulty. I don't know if I mentioned this during Mega Man 2, but Mega Man 10 has an easy mode, and that easy mode is we just put a bunch of platforms over death pits and spikes so that you can't fall on them. And it sucks. Like, it sucks. But even with all of the Switch Palaces activated in this game, like, there's still stuff that's hard. It doesn't just give you an automatic, like, pass.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'm so convinced that it's, like, an effective difficulty level, because it ends up being something that the Switch Palaces are what you go for if you're skilled and you know how to get them. Because that's kind of what happened on your stream. You only got the first one, and then
because the first one is like right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kyle, the more skilled player, came in and got the other ones for you, and like the game became easier because a more skilled player was playing.
Well, it's partially that, but also partially because they were trying to think of new block ideas, and they came up with the Switch block. But then they're like, so it's both things. It's a cool new block, but it was also to like so that they wouldn't have to put in difficulty settings.
Yeah, which would that's that I get that.
So let's jump into the music. Let's jump into the soundtrack. Now, I didn't ask anybody to make their top 3. I assume Matt did, because usually he does.
When I asked about the format of the podcast, you just said joke answers.
Well, like, here's the thing. I didn't think to ask anybody about the soundtrack, because, like, the soundtrack is great, but there's not a lot. There's not a lot to it. We're still in the era where, like, soundtracks are small. They're compact.
This ain't the age of the new Super Mario Brothers, where every single stage has its own sound, has its own song.
But as is tradition, we've always got our first song that is just we're going to mention this song because it's the song that came out of this game. It's the song that everybody knows. And I personally am going to say that's the first Overworld theme.
I'll agree that that's the one most people know.
I think that is... Well, that's what I mean. Like, that's the one that, like, we have to mention, because that's the one that most people are aware of.
Yes.
But past that, like, outside of that, do either of you have favorite songs?
The athletic theme, Overworld 2.
Yeah, Overworld 2.
It's a better song.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. Like, 100%. Like, that's even the one that they remixed for Smash. That's the one that's the banjo remix on Yoshi's Island and Melee. And it's a super good remix, and the song itself is just fantastic.
Have you ever seen the YouTube channel of that ragtime piano player?
Oh my god!
Like his nephew or grandson or something that's like that plays video games gave him the sheet music to the athletic theme, and like he did a sight reading play of it. He didn't like the tempo's not marked on the sheet music, so he played it in like a sort of a slower tempo that fits with ragtime.
Was this man Tom Brier?
Yes.
Tom Brier. That man is a fucking god.
Yes, and he for those who've never seen it, like he plays it once through kind of slowly, and then it's like, yeah, people usually play that like a lot faster. He takes this as a challenge, and he just bangs it out like absolutely perfect, and it's absolutely incredible.
So this guy has a YouTube channel just of, I gave Tom this song, the sheet music for this song, and he just sight read it perfectly the first time. And sometimes he throws other video game songs to him. I want to give a big shout out to this, and now I'm going to have to go look him up again, because I haven't actually gone to watch his videos in a couple years.
The channel is Keeper First. I believe there have been a lot of uploads lately, because Tom was actually involved in a car accident. He's doing all right now, but there was a significant amount of time where he had to recover. So there were not videos for a while.
I'm glad he's doing better, but that does make sense. I've seen him do the horse race theme from Ocarina of Time. He did the main theme from Ghosts and Goblins. I want to say he did something from Animal Crossing at some point. It's not always video game music. In fact, it's very rarely video game music that this guy hands Tom. But when he does...
The idea of the channel is that he doesn't just want to make it like a video game music channel. He wants to actually like get people to be more interested in ragtime music and stuff like that, which is cool. But there's also, like you're saying, a lot of the pop culture music.
He puts it, I think he says this at one point, in the description for the Zelda music, the horse race song, he says, there's not a lot of ragtime music in video games, to be honest, so I run out of things, and there's really no ragtime music in Zelda, so I gave him this. But, yeah, Tom Brier, keep it first, that channel's amazing. That man is incredible.
I don't remember what video this was on, because this is years ago that I watched him, but in one of the descriptions, the guy who uploads it, the relative or friend or whatever, mentions that it's just like, he's sight reading, but like, to make it sound more, to fit more with ragtime, he's adding notes in.
Yeah, he doesn't just sight read, he improvises.
He's throwing in like extra chords and whatnot that fit. Oh my god.
This man is an absolute god on the piano. Like, it is a sight to behold. Absolutely incredible. And the way that he does the Mario Athletic theme is also just, it's a sign to how difficult that piece is to play, because like the huge jumps in note pitch that the left hand is doing on the piano, which is like the bass chords, absolutely ridiculous. Like, you're going half the length of the piano, and you're doing that like 6 times a second, and you have to hit the specific keys. It is an absolutely ridiculous song, and it is so cool.
I will probably have slipped a little clip of that video into the show just to... It's great.
Oh, I think that's like common in ragtime music, of just like hitting like a low and high chord real fast.
Yeah.
But I don't listen to a lot of ragtime.
Yeah, and it's like like it says in the video, he doesn't play video games. He's never heard this song in his life, and he doesn't get literally every note right. But the sheer the sheer quality of his performance with how fast that he's playing it is unbelievable. He has never heard this song in his life. He is sight reading it. The tempo is insane. This is so cool.
It's super good. Ben, do you have another song that you want to point out?
I mean, I really like the credits music,
which was also done by Tom Brier.
I get very emotional when I listen to it. It starts like slowing down towards the end, and
I think it's one of the best video game credits themes that I've heard.
It's so good. I lived in Dinosaur Land.
For me, this is going to sound weird and like not really like a song that should be highlighted. And I'm not going to say it's my favorite, because we've covered my favorites. My favorites are the 2 overworld themes. Like, those are the good ones. But I really have a soft spot for the Ghost House music. There's not much to it, but I really like horror-themed stuff a lot, and I think the Ghost House music really helps to build the atmosphere in there and make them feel genuinely kind of creepy. And I don't know. I really like that piece.
It's good. It's good music.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single bad song on the soundtrack. I think it's overall very good. I'm just kind of like...
agree.
It's just a matter of, like, there's not that many. And a lot of them are remixes of the main overworld theme.
Yeah, like the underwater theme is a remix of the overworld theme to be a little bit slower and more waltzy. It's a good soundtrack overall. It's just, it's going to be a little while before we hit the era where we can't just basically talk about the whole soundtrack at once. We're getting there. Like, we've had to leave some songs off during this conversation because there are too many to talk about. But, like, we left maybe, 3 out?
Well, when it comes down to it, it's like, it really is just predominantly remixes of the main overworld theme. Like, that's what the underwater theme is, that's what the underground theme is, and that's, as far as level music goes, that's it. There's the different the different map screen musics, because each map area has its own unique song, but I don't personally think those are very substantial. They're not bad, they're just...
Yeah, no one's out there humming Vanilla Dome.
I did like do hand dance symbols to Vanilla Dome.
Okay,
during my stream.
That counts. I'm gonna write that down.
It does count. There's a clip of it on my Twitch.
I don't watch your Twitch.
I know.
No one clipped anything on my Twitch.
I was at work. You started while I was at work. You chose to do that.
I told you when I was going to stream.
He was at work.
That's not my fault.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you could have been the one that wrote the schedule. We don't know.
Could have waited till I had a day off so I could sit in the chat like I did on Mario Land and
you
not
don't have
shut
a day
up.
off. You wouldn't have had a day off for a fucking week.
I know. I'm working extra hours these days.
And your day off is the same day as our book club, so
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway.
No, yeah, it don't work out.
Take more time off.
No.
But I think we've hit a logical conclusion to our talk about Super Mario World. It's a fantastic game that we all had a lot of fun with. And Ben, thank you for being on.
Oh, my pleasure. Let's go around the table and all say our least favorite thing.
Like in general?
You can do that, or you can do about the game.
That's
I
actually.
think we should stick to
I have
about
one.
the game.
I have one actual negative thing about this game.
Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this.
I don't love some of the localization changes.
So what do you mean by that?
So there's a silly answer of in the American version, Yoshi can't eat the dolphins.
All right, I think I knew that.
In Japan, he eats the dolphins because it's just tuna. They love tuna, and Americans are very sensitive to dolphin murder. And there's this dude that worked for Nintendo of America back in the 90s who handled touching up localizations of like a handful of Mario games, and this is one of them. And he's the reason that the fortress boss is called Reznor, because I guess he used to work before he worked at Nintendo America. He worked at Tower Records, and he named a bunch of shit after musicians.
Like all the Koopalings, by the way.
All the Koopalings, he named those after musicians, and he's just like, what should I translate Booey Booey to? I know, Nine Inch Nails frontman Trent Reznor. Boy, I love that band. He doesn't work for Nintendo anymore.
Nobody does.
He works for Bass Pro.
I don't know why that's so funny.
I know, I learned that part today.
What's a Bass Pro?
He works for Bass Pro Shop. It's they're in Missouri, or their home base is in Missouri.
Boy,
they're local? They're local?
It's Springfield, Missouri. That's not local to us, but
well,
yeah,
I mean, you get what I mean.
Yeah,
What
they're
a
like
fall from grace.
What the hell?
I didn't know who this guy was, but when I beat the game, I was looking at the credits, and I laughed at like what Katie pointed out of like how the romanization of Hideki is instead of Ki, it's Qui.
Yeah, I love that. I love
fucking
that.
hilarious. But a name jumped out at me that I never noticed before, and it's Dave Brooks, but Dave is spelled Dayv. And that's the dude's real name. Well, not anymore.
Fuck.
Not anymore. He changed it and added a second V. But that name jumped out at me.
That solves everything.
That name jumped out at me. I looked it up before recording, and I was like, "Oh, it's his fucking fault."
Cool. Cool.
So question.
Yeah.
What are the Koopa Kids called in Japanese?
Oh, they.
I've never thought of the fact that they're not called that in Japanese. That's an English thing.
So I don't know if they had proper names in Japanese. Now that I think about it.
So in Smash, did they just end up with the names that we gave them?
Oh yeah. So the American names became the canon worldwide names after Mario World. But, yeah, I do not believe they had proper names in Japanese, which I'm double-checking right now.
I'm looking at Iggy, and it just says, in the cartoons, he was called Hop Koopa.
Oh, yeah, the cartoons were bullshit. They're stupid.
He's named after Iggy Pop. What would they call him?
Yeah, there is no Japanese name listed for them in the...
It's got to say something in the little flavor text after you break their castle.
It probably just says you completed castle number something, saved another Yoshi.
Well, hold on, I'm checking right now because there's in the ending it has where it shows everyone, all the enemies, and thankfully in the Japanese version it shows the Japanese name in English letters.
Oh, good.
Okay, so it's in the middle, of course, we have Koopa, and then we've got Morton, Roy, Lemmy, Wendy, Iggy, Ludwig, and Larry.
So those were the Japanese names.
Because, remember, they first appeared in Mario 3.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, that's the dude also did the localization touch-ups for Mario 3.
Oh, so that
Gosh,
would make
dang it.
sense.
Fight me, Dave.
This is a formal challenge to Dave. I forget his last name already.
Brooks? I've also forgotten.
Of Bass Pro. There's a Bass Pro shop about 15 minutes away from us, maybe 20.
Well, it says he lives in Missouri.
We challenge you to a fight. We will be there Friday, October... what's a good... How about Friday, October 26th? Does that work for your schedule? I don't care. We will be there Friday, October 26th at 6 p.m. Be there or be square. You are now responsible for the battle that will ensue. Hope your stores have insurance.
And I'm looking at it. I don't believe the Koopalings had any name in the Japanese version of Mario 3.
Interesting. So we named those characters.
Sure
America
did.
named those characters. All right, that's interesting.
I'm looking at the article for Larry Koopa, and it says former Nintendo America employee Dave Brooks, who claimed that Larry was named after Larry Mullen Jr., drummer for the rock band U2. However, Brooks contradicted this in a December 2015 interview, stating that Larry was not named after anyone particular, and that he just simply looked like a Larry.
Yep.
I don't buy that. It's gotta be. They're all named after music people, like Iggy Pop and Wendy Williams.
At the same time, I completely believe that he just looks like a Larry.
Believe.
Oh yeah, he totally
fucking believe
But yeah,
that.
so all the name references are, Larry, and then there's Morton Downey Jr., Wendy O. Williams, Iggy Pop, Roy Orbison, Lemmy Kilmister, Ludwig van Beethoven.
Yep, those sure are names of music people, and Larry.
And Koopa.
And Koopa. Good old Koopa, my favorite musician.
And yeah, if you've never seen the American Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon...
I've got a few episodes on like a DVD somewhere.
First
Please
of all,
tell me Wendy is just called Girl Koopa.
Oh, no, it's something stupid. Hold on, let me check. Cootie Pie.
How is
like-
Girl Koopa not stupid?
It's Cutie Pie, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, so their names in the American cartoons were Cheatsy, Big Mouth, Cootie Pie,
Yeah.
Hop, Bully, Hip, and Kooky.
No, they weren't. I don't believe you.
That cartoon's pretty bad.
I can't believe you.
That cartoon's really bad. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's bad.
It's bad.
It's in fact not good.
Let's keep going around the table.
I just want an excuse to say that stuff.
Let's
I
go to
meant
Matt.
say it earlier.
Let's go to Matt first.
Oh God, I don't know. I guess I'll have to go with the I'll have to go with the Magic Koopas. Really, that's all I got.
No.
And for me, it's the Forest of Illusion.
Did you have a favorite level or just one that you liked that jumps out at you? It doesn't have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the one on Butter Bridge, I think it is called, with the saws and you're on the moving platforms.
Oh yeah,
That one is fun. I do like that one.
I'm a big fan of that one.
that one's real fun if you like do a bunch of spin jumps, so you can do some real stupid stuff.
It's the only level off the top of my head that I can remember for sure, and I have such a good time with it. That is a great level.
So I actually, and I cannot believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, I kind of like the ghost ship.
It's a callback to Mario 3.
Yeah.
Why
kinda
do you
like
like
it.
this?
I don't know, but
Okay.
it's a level that comes to mind, and I don't think I'm going to forget it at any point, and it's not like a negative memory. So I think it's safe to say, like, I like the ghost ship.
Okay. I like Awesome. That's one of those.
Way Cool's one of my favorites personally.
Way Cool's fun. Awesome's the one where it's in the special zone and it has it's like all ice, and there's a bunch of like big like you have to jump through like a bunch of big like
Oh yeah.
not kind of like valleys, and like every time you get up to a hill, it's another like Koopa without a shell kicking a shell at you. And then after you get past like the first half that's all ice, like platforming and whatnot, you get to a point where it just throws like 4 or 5 bonsai bills at you. I really like that one.
The special world stages are really cool. In addition to
Yeah.
having the stupidest best names ever.
Except Tubular. Tubular's a bad level.
Yeah. Yes.
I mentioned it to Kyle and he just sort of drifted away.
Have you ever seen the Japanese names for the special world stages?
I might have.
So we've got in order: Fun Course, Fun Course.
Instead of Gnarly.
Mario's staff is just as surprised course. That's way cool, by the way.
What?
We had 2 fun courses. Then Mario's staff is just as surprised course. Specialists only course.
What's that one?
Specialists only course.
Oh, okay.
That's Groovy and Mondo. Then Championships course. And can you guess the last one?
I mean, championships course?
Tubular. Was I right?
Spanish names are also pretty cool.
No, was I right?
Yes.
Nope.
No, it's Championships course. So Spanish names, by the way, we have Enredado, which means tangled.
That fits for gnarly.
Tubuguay, which means tube cool. Melon, which means cool. I'm probably pronouncing these very wrong. Impresionante, which is impressive. Enrefesado, confusing. Rarito, weird.
Good.
Escandaloso, you can probably guess that one.
Like a scandal?
Scandalous.
Oh, scandal. Oh, yeah.
And then Total.
What?
Total.
That makes the least sense. What's Spanish for funky?
Total.
I
Total.
halfway through Joe's second part stream, because I was the only one I caught. I was at work during the part one. I think I like walked into your room and told you and Kyle that in like the entire time that you had been streaming, which is like an hour and a half, I finally beat Outrageous. Because fuck me, that level is still really hard, and I got to a point where it's a bunch of bullet bills, and you have to jump over, like they're on top of big walls, and you have to jump over them. And there's 2 parts in the level where it gives you a spring to jump, and one near the beginning of the level, and one near the very end where there's a bullet bill at the same height as the ground and the spring, like a block to the side of the spring, and it's really mean placement. And I could never get to that spring and pick it up in time, because you have to pick up that spring and jump off of like 2 bullet bills to get over the wall. So I just grabbed the spring at the very beginning of the level and managed to carry it through an entire level to get to the end where you need the spring for like this huge pipe.
Or you could just use the cape and fly over the whole level.
I did not have the cape at the time, and I did not feel like going all the way back to whatever level I could easily get the cape at.
Well, so that's why you just play the Game Boy Advance version and use the fast travel to get to the top secret area.
I was too lazy. I was just like, I'm Small Mario, I'm just going to do this.
And with that, I think it's about time we go ahead and wrap on up. We've been talking for a while, and I know that if I don't put a limit on this, we will talk about Super Mario World for the rest of our lives.
Man, I could do that. Let's do that. We'll just live stream it.
I don't have time for that.
Rank all 96 exits. Go.
Sponsored by Squarespace.
So,
we're not sponsored by Squarespace.
We're going to have to... We are not sponsored by Squarespace. But if Squarespace wants to give us a call, you know where to find us.
You host our website, so...
You sure do. You have access to my personal information. Get on a hold of me. So we're going to have to go ahead and let Ben go before this next part. Ben, thanks for being on. I'm glad you could play Super Mario World with us.
I'm glad I could too. It's my favorite game. I replay it every year.
Man, why we gotta kick him off? He could talk about our next game too.
I don't think he wants to. I don't think we want to.
Or we could do a different thing. and I could not be here.
I need help to get through this one.
But we're gonna go ahead and unfortunately for him, unfortunately for us, gonna need to go ahead and let him go. So once again, Ben, thank you. We will see you later.
Okay, I have to go back to my home planet now. And then, put in like a cool effect.
No, that was the effect. That
was the
like
sound. Put in.
No,
like,
that was the sound.
Ben died on the way back to his
I
home
produced
planet.
this.
No. Put in, like, at the end of a Mario World level.
I produced this fuck...
Shut the fuck up. Wait, at the end of a Mario World level, it goes... Pew! Put that.
There. I threw in the sound effect. It's right there. Are you fucking happy? Get out of my podcast.
Okay,
You're not allowed back. So...
Yowza.
Let's go ahead and talk about our next game.
Do we have to?
We unfortunately do.
I think this is my most dreaded game on the entire list. The only thing worse is if you told me right now we had to do Bravely Default.
Or had to go back and do the original again.
No, I'd rather do that.
Let's get through it. Here we go. Our next game is representing fighter number 54, Palutena. It is the 1991 Game Boy game, Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters.
Has anyone on this earth played this game?
I have never. I know literally not a single thing about this entire game.
Same. I don't think anyone does.
Like, I own this game. I think I got it for free from Club Nintendo at some point. So I have it on 3DS. I won't be playing it on 3DS, obviously, and which obviously brings me to the thing that I'm trying to bring up every episode now. You can, in fact, buy Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters on the 3DS Virtual Console. It costs $3.99. Don't know why you would want to do this, but you can do so.
With us.
You are legally allowed to do so.
Not a single song from Myths and Monsters in Smash.
That is true. That is 100% true. The song you're hearing right now, audience, is is Overworld from Kid Icarus 1. There's no song from this game in Smash. As far as Nintendo's concerned, this game doesn't exist.
We are playing this game under duress.
We are playing this game because there aren't any other Kid Icarus games other than the one that came out 2 decades after this one. It was not. We have confirmed this. We looked it up, and it has been confirmed this game never came out in Japan. It never came out in Japan. Nothing from this game made it into Uprising, which was basically a greatest hits but made better collection of Kid Icarus, the first one, because all the enemies from the original Kid Icarus show up in that game. Nothing from Myths and Monsters. I didn't know this game existed until maybe 2-3 years ago. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know what to say.
No one does. No one.
I'm not looking forward to playing it.
It's like someone is going to listen to this and like send us a tweet, be like, "Kid, this was my favorite game, and you guys don't understand how great it is. I played it all the time when I was a kid, and then we're going to call the police because you clearly need professional help."
Like, what is this game? What is it?
I guess we'll find out.
We sure will. I don't even know if Palutena shows up in this game. That's one of the worries I have. That Palutena's not even in this game in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think she is. I'm going to level with you. I don't think she is. There's nothing else we can do. There's no other Kid Icarus game. This is the only one.
This is sitting between us and Link to the Past.
This is sitting between us and the rest of Smashterpieces. I've just kind of been hoping that we would give up and lose steam before we got to this game. That has clearly not happened.
So, if you somehow have memories of this game, I want to hear about it, because I don't think you're real, and I legitimately would like to hear about this.
Look at the bright side. Once we get through this, there's a solid 20 more games before we get to our next dreading one.
Which one is that? Let's see.
That is for Mewtwo.
Oh, I have a dreaded game before that. We hit Earthbound before we hit that.
It's not going to be so bad.
I disagree, but I'm hoping I'm wrong.
I mean, the worst case scenario is that maybe it'll be boring if we don't like it, but this is Myths and Monsters is like I truly fear what is going to happen, and we don't hit that again for a little while.
I've heard a couple of things, and that one, it's much easier than the first game. Because it's a Game Boy game, and it's going to be short. Thank God. It's going to be short. It is a Game Boy game. It's one of our 4 Game Boy games. So, we at least have that. There is that.
Okay.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else I can say about it. It'll at least be short. It'll be over quickly, I hope.
Maybe it's not that bad.
No. There's a chance it won't be that bad. Considering its pedigree, I don't have a lot of optimism.
Maybe it's good.
There won't be. You can follow us on Twitter at Smashterpieces. You can follow us on Facebook as Smashterpieces. You could tweet to me all of your experiences and precious childhood memories of Kid Icarus, of Myths and Monsters that are going to come out of the woodwork now that I've helped open Pandora's box. Pandora.
She's also not in this game, as far as I know.
I bet you're correct. And also, I don't think Pandora has a box in the Kid Icarus universe. I don't know. She's more of an orb. You can also find our website at anondino.squarespace.com. That is anon as in anonymous. anondino.squarespace.com. I mean it. Hey, Squarespace, give me a call. They're not going to give me a call. But there you can find links to both of our Twitch channels where Matt streams Smashterpiece games and other stuff, and I stream pretty much Smashterpiece games, though I might stream a horror game for October because it is the season. I don't know that yet, though. I'm not going to promise anything, but keep an eye on it. I'll tweet on the account if I do. And past that, you can also find a link to our full list, like the full list of games.
All of them.
That we are doing for this show.
Every single one.
All of the games. I don't think
74 of them.
Isabel has not been added yet to the list. Because somebody is slacking. She's on my personal copy.
You're the one who's been maintaining this. You're the one that's slacking. Look, you haven't changed the shading on these in weeks.
I changed the shading on the top. I literally, as we were recording, I changed the shading on Mario Land because I kind of forgot. My bad.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the one doing the ordering and shit.
Yeah, I've done that like twice. Ever.
But yeah, that's you can find that, and it's gonna be fun. Maybe fun is not the word I should use. I'm not sure that's gonna actually be fun. But after this, we get to go and play a game that is considered a classic and that human beings actually have memories of. So I'm looking forward to that most of all. But with that, I don't got anything more to say to you.
No, I guess not.
Alright, well, with that, my name is Joe.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll see you next time when we unfortunately return to talk about Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. Bye.